So these are the vehicles you should be buying this week before they raise in price. Rockstar is raising the prices of some very good vehicles, very useful vehicles, and even some random vehicles like the Granger for some reason they're raising the price of when they're supposed to be raising the price of OP vehicles. They're raising the price of anything they want to. So we're going to go through some major ones you should be getting, and we're going to be looking at all of them too. So these are the vehicles they're raising the price of. So we have the Akula, the Granger 3600 XL, the Scramjet, the Champion for some reason. The Champion isn't even OP, it just has armor. Why would be... They are trying to raise the prices of some of their weaponized vehicles so people don't use them to grief, but then they raise one of the best defensive vehicles in the game, the Champion, and the Weaponized Ingus. So that is pretty random from Rockstar, but we're gonna be talking about that later. Then the Deluxo, which is again an old car. I never see anyone using this. Why are they raising the price? I don't know. The Oppressor MK2, that's pretty understandable, and they're raising that to $8 million, which is kind of crazy, even though they just nerfed it. I really don't know what they're thinking doing this. Then the Toreador, which again, I'm sure people can use it to grief, but it's one of the best vehicles in the whole game, and defensively too, so I don't know why they're doing that. Then the Weaponized Ingus, which that's pretty random too. But let's start with one of my favorite helicopters in the whole game and one of my favorite vehicles in the whole game, the Akula. It's costing $3.7 million right now, but next week on April 27th, it's gonna cost $4.5 million. That is almost a whole $1 million extra in price for one of the best vehicles in the game. It's not that overpowered too. Sure, you do have the stealth mode, but other than that, it's not really that overpowered. So let's go through the specs of this helicopter. So the top speed is 157 miles per hour. It has unlimited homing missiles, so that is definitely a plus because a lot of helicopters don't have unlimited missiles. It takes up to 3 homing missiles to be destroyed and 4 to actually kill you, so you can jump out if they do not hit you with the 4th missile, but it does explode after 3. It takes 5 explosive rounds from a heavy sniper Mark II. That's pretty good. And it has 3 vision modes. That's actually really cool. We don't see this at all with any other helicopter. So first it has regular vision, thermal, and then night vision. So that could be useful. I never really use those personally, even though I do use this helicopter all the time. It is really good, really underrated too. So I would definitely pick this up before they raise the price next week. But let's talk about the most important thing about this helicopter. It has stealth mode. So this hides your blimp. You could have a bounty, you could be doing work, you could be doing businesses. It will hide your minimap blimp. So it will hide wherever you are on the map, no matter what you're doing, except for a few different free mode events. But even still, then it does hide you, but it doesn't hide the objective. Like if you're carrying the briefcase, it doesn't hide the briefcase on the map, but it will hide you. So that is really good. One of the most useful features in the whole game, I think. That is why I love the Akula so much, because it's free to use the stealth mode at least, and it comes in at $3.7 million, but next week they are raising it by $1 million, so definitely pick it up before they raise the price. Okay, so moving on to one of my personal favorite vehicles in the game, the Toreador. It costs $3.6 million right now, and it's raising it to $4.250. That is a lot for the Toreador, one of my favorite vehicles in the whole game. So it has a top speed of 135 miles per hour, and it holds up to 20 homing missiles, but this is the best part about it. It takes up to 6 homing missiles. That's pretty crazy if you think about it. 2 RPGs, 5 explosive rounds from heavy snipers, and 1 tank cannon. So definitely one of the best ground vehicles with armor on it. 6 homing missiles. The only thing that tops that is the Imma tech vehicles in the agency. So this car is really one of the best defensive cars, and it has the boost too. So the boost really adds to that defense, because if you're going up against Oppressor MK2s, remember they nerfed the missile, so all you have to do is hit the boost and the missiles just hit the ground behind you. So I definitely survived some Oppressor MK2s using this vehicle after the Oppressor MK2 nerf, but this car is going to be raising in prices. So I would definitely pick this up. The boost really does help, and the armor is really good too, and it has the OG effect of people not being able to shoot you from behind. So it does have the bulletproof back to it, so you could back up onto people as long as they don't have an RPG and take them out that way. And another forgotten feature about this car, it does have the built-in submarine mode, so you could go straight underwater. People won't be able to lock onto you underwater. That is a really cool feature I used to trick some people with, just running away, diving into the ocean off the pier, and getting away from them underwater. So that's really cool. A very fun vehicle, one of my favorite vehicles in the whole game, just because of how fun it is, and it's actually useful in free mode PvP. Okay, so my third favorite vehicle on the list, it has to be the Oppressor. I know tryhards use it, but come on, it's Oppressor MK2, one of the best vehicles to grind in, to use daily in GTA Online. This top speed of 127 miles per hour and holds up to 20 homing missiles, and it does have the shaft, so you can prevent people from locking onto you, which is very good. That is actually very helpful. They did nerf that too, which is surprising, but they did nerf it. So overall, the Oppressor, I don't know why they're raising the price so extreme, but this is going to be raising to $8 million. So definitely a must buy. Even if you don't plan on going in free mode and taking down other players with this bike, I would definitely recommend it just for grinding for money or just traveling around the map, because it is one of the most useful vehicles in the whole game. But not that much else to say about it. It's Oppressor MK2. We all know what it is. So I would definitely pick up before it raises in such an extreme price. It's going from $3.8 million to $8 million. But yeah, it is one of the best vehicles in the game. And not just for PvP, but for everything else too. So then we have the Champion, one of the OG Imma Tech vehicles. It's going from $2.9 million to $3.7, almost $1 million extra for one of the best defensive vehicles in the game. This is what I'm talking about. Why are they raising the prices of vehicles that you defend yourself in, and it doesn't even have any weapons or rockets or anything? Rockstar wants to raise the prices so people don't use these overpowered vehicles, or at least as far as we know, but they raise the price of the Champion, the Toreador, the Weaponized Ingus. Really random, but the Champion is still one of the best vehicles to defend yourself in, very fast too. So I would recommend picking this up just to drive around in free mode with your friends if you do that, and you don't want anyone to lock onto you, because it does have the Imma Tech, which prevents people from locking onto you. The top speed is 124 miles per hour. It takes up to 12 homing missiles to be destroyed, so that's what I'm talking about. One of the most highest ranking vehicles for defense in free mode. 12 homing missiles is a lot. It's 3/4 of what Oppressor MK2 holds, so even if they do hit you, which is kind of hard after the nerf, chances are you will still be alive. So that very good defense on this vehicle. And the top speed is very fast too. So the next vehicle is actually one of the fastest in the whole game, the Weaponized Ingus. Right now is at $3.2 million and it is raising in price to 4.5. That is pretty massive, and it's not that much armored anyways. You're not going to be surviving very much stuff in this vehicle because it only takes one explosive round, but it's very random that they chose to raise this car. It is one of the fastest, which I'm sure it makes sense to raise it because of that reason, but for defense or for offense, it's not that good anyways. So it starts out at 124 miles per hour, but with all the upgrades and the House Push Workshop upgrades, it raises to 146 miles per hour, which is one of the fastest vehicles in the game. I think it might be the fastest ground vehicle, at least, in the whole game. And again, defense only takes one homing missile, one RPG, one explosive round from the heavy sniper, and one tank cannon. It's not that good. The only real reason to use this is because of the top speed in races. It does have the weapon on top, but that is basically useless. It takes 10 seconds to destroy someone using that cannon on the top. It doesn't have bulletproof windows. It does have a bulletproof back, but I don't know why they're raising the price of this one, so definitely buy this before they raise it in price. 100% buy this right now, if you do have the money at least. They probably will put this on some discounts in the future, but right now it is the cheapest it will ever be probably, so definitely get this 100%. One of my favorite vehicles in GTA Online. Okay, then we have the Deluxo, another random one. This what used to be one of the best vehicles, but now in 2023 it's not that good anymore. It does have the flying feature, but other than that, there's not much else to it. It does have the flying feature, so that's pretty nice. One of the first vehicles ever to fly in GTA Online, but it doesn't have any armor. It does hold up to 20 home missiles, but it doesn't do anything else really. It is one of the fastest in its class. But yeah, just another random vehicle they decided to raise the price in. It is going from $4.7 million to $5.7 million. The whole million extra in price, which is kind of crazy. Then another extra one, I'm just gonna go through these because I don't really recommend buying these anymore. The Scramjet, even though this one is really fun, I really love this one. Going around with my friends riding with this it does have the jump feature and the boost feature, which you could get some crazy shots, crazy stunts doing with those. But for PvP combat and defense, it's not that good. It doesn't have really any armor on it. It does have 20 homing missiles, but that's all. It's going from $3.4 million to $4 million. Now this one, it's not that good, but it's not that bad either. It's the classic Granger 3600LX, another very random one, a SUV. It doesn't have any weapons or anything, but it's just a really good defense vehicle, maybe even one of the best in the game. So it's going from $1.3 million to $2 million, not that expensive for some of the other vehicles on this list, but this is a very good defensive car. It's pretty slow. It is an SUV. It's 96 miles per hour, and it does take up to 12 homing missiles because it has Amani tech, and it has bulletproof resistant windows. It takes up to 4 RPGs, 10 explosive rounds from a heavy sniper, and 2 tank cannons. So definitely one of the best for the price, but overall, I would definitely recommend the Champion or some of the other Amani tech vehicles over the Granger. So those are all the vehicles that are raising in prices. The top 4 I made, which is what I recommend you guys buy, but everything else after that, you could pretty much skip on because those aren't really vehicles you'll be using every day in free mode sessions. So these are just a few of the price changes happening next week. Rockstar said there could be more, so watch out for more. I will update you guys if there are any more price changes. So subscribe to see that. Like the video if you got this far because that probably means you liked it, and I will see you guys in whatever video I make next.